Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Brandon from Audio Addiction. Very excited to be joining all of you tonight. Normally, I do at least one of these, I feel like, per week now at this point. So it is what it is. Nonetheless, very excited to delve into this. But if you are in the know, if you know, you know, I love Virtual Veins. Big salute to Ron, Luke, and my boy Brett. I've been following them for quite a long time now at this point. So very stoked that they sent me this album to do live with y'all. So if you are watching this in the past, that is totally fine as well. If not, thank you for joining me tonight. I know if you're an East Coaster, it's past midnight. So thank you for staying up later. But regardless of the point, very excited to delve into this EP, Everlasting. I've been waiting for this for quite a hot minute. They had been teasing a bunch of singles, released a bunch of singles, and about 3 songs I think I have not listened to. And so going to delve into the entire thing tonight. So if you are new to Virtual Veins, all the links will be in the description to go check them out. I did do a reaction video to Evening Ghost. And I think there was another song that I didn't hear on here that maybe I did a reaction video for. Never Again was the other one, but I never released it for whatever reason. I don't. Maybe I just didn't get around to it. But Evening Ghost, I did do a reaction to, so you can check that out if you'd like. And ironically enough, is the first song off this EP. So without further ado, I feel like we should jump right into it. What do you think? I think we should. So let's give it a listen.
This chapter ends and the next begins. I hope it's more peaceful. I lost so much of my happiness.
Oh, this song, man, is so good. I'll have to ask Ron how he hits those notes in the chorus. This was like the perfect blend of like heavy and clean vocals. Oh, sick. This is such a, I love this bridge switch up. It's so sick.
Feeling love and misery, what it has taken to me, like kill a loved
didn't have to do it to him like that. All right, guys, for real. Like, you didn't have to do it like that. It was not. That's uncalled for. No, just, just kidding, guys. This was Evening Ghost, alternatively known as Sever, whatever you want to call it. It is, and will always be a fantastic track. And, you know, what a track to start off the album with. I mean, I think arguably this one is, you know, one of the songs that I felt like early on just had a really great mix of everything I love about, like, Virtual Vein and their sort of heaviness. It was really cool to have Brett do screaming. I thought that was really sick. And obviously coming from the parallel and what they did in that band, definitely gave me a little bit of, you know, some old school vibes, which, you know, you love. But as well as that, I have to just say how much Ron has improved as a vocalist. I think his clean vocals sound super, super good. Not that I didn't feel like they were that terrible in Weaver or even, you know, stuff after Weaver. I just feel like he has become such a more well-rounded and more talented vocalist, because I think a song like this is very demanding vocally, especially in the clean sections. That really super insanely high note in that chorus, really I think is something to, you know, obviously strive for as a vocalist. But I think it does take a lot of skill and takes a lot of talent to get to that sort of that vocal status. And I obviously know that Ron has, you know, I would argue he has a higher range, so he is able to hit those notes, but it is really still impressive nonetheless. So I gotta give him a lot of credit for crushing it on this song, as well as just, I think, vocally across the board. I really love Brett's vocals in this track, again, as I mentioned before, and I think Luke has just become even more of a monster of a screamer than, you know, what I thought previously. So I think the expectation of what they were able to do has just grown so much more, and I think they've been able to meet that sort of challenge of becoming a band and allowing those changes to happen. So really enjoyed this a lot. This one is, again, arguably one of my favorite tracks that I have listened to from them. But there's a lot of these new ones that I haven't listened to, so this very easily could get knocked off the board. But nonetheless, I think this is a great track, and I think if you are not familiar with Virtual Veins, I think this is a very good song to start off with, certainly. So we are going to move it on to track 2, and this is Succubus. I'm pretty sure if I pronunciated that right. If not, feel free to roast me in the comments. I love a good roast. So just kidding. Please don't roast me. I'm sad. Anyway, let's get into Succubus right now. Oh. Oh yeah, all right. sick. Oh yeah.
We live as monsters until the end. I wish I had all the answers. Maybe there are none. We are broken until the end. Our isolation has gone too far. We'll keep existing the way we are. Why do we laugh in the face of coexistence? There's no place for me. There's no place for me. There's no place within cause of fate. I let it cause of me. To live without, coming to the end.
Oh, so good. All right, guys, that was track 2. That was Succubus. I'm almost positive that they changed the song title. So the first song that we listened to, that was correct, Evening Ghost. Except for I'm an idiot and put Evening Ghost singular, so it should be plural. And then Succubus was Sever, I'm pretty sure. So, because I remember doing a reaction video to the first song, so I don't know if they just like changed the song title names, whatever, tomato. You know, it's a good song. This was the first song I had listened to of Virtual Veins. So I feel like I have a lot of love for this song nonetheless. I think this was kind of like the catalyst for what, you know, would eventually be Virtual Veins. And so it's a great starting point, very similarly to Evening Ghost. I think there is just something about it where it was immediately heavy, and I think it kind of bridges that gap between, again, the parallel as well as this new project. I think it has a lot more, it has a little bit more of that sort of heavier side of music. So if you do come from that sort of ideology or come from that sort of school of thought when it comes to heavier music, then I think you're going to really resonate with this sort of song. Very like Ocean's 8 Alaska, like Structures kind of feel to it, but then having like more of a strong, more like metalcore-esque chorus to the song. So I think if you enjoy those kind of more technical riffs and then have a really solid, awesome chorus, then I think this is certainly a song for you to listen to. So really enjoyed that. And I think it gave me a better idea of, again, Luke's talent as a screamer. All of the songs that he's done thus far have just been super rock solid, but I just absolutely loved his screams in this track. And I loved how catchy this chorus was. Super immersive, very fun. And I just think kind of like overall the musicality of this track really speaks out to me. Just for off the sheer basis of the incredible drumming from Ron, the guitar work from Brett, like it really kind of feels more well-rounded. And again, very similarly to Evening Ghost, I think this is a really great starting point for those who, again, aren't familiar with Virtual Veins. So enjoy this one a lot. I think both of the first two songs have been really great, but I think Monolith Dead Loss, and Everlasting, I think, are the three that I have not listened to. Never Again, I did listen to, but I never posted my reaction video. So have heard it, but I haven't listened to it since I did that video, which was a couple weeks ago. So either way, let's get into track 3, which is Monolith, in just a moment.
Sealed in my teeth.
Oh my god!
I feel insane, take a look inside broken place. This is, oh no, I'll never find out if the best for last. Just my time is past. I know my friends, I know all the steps. Slowly breaking down, pressure and control. What? Contradictions, depredations, my confessions never. Holding firm against a never learn. Staring, I'm falling, giving up again.
This is so aggressive.
Versus myself again. Me versus myself again. Me versus myself again. Go and twist the knife. Me versus myself.
Ooh, this is hard. I like this.
Me versus myself again. Losing again and again. Faded. I know the one is gone, wallowing in misery. No moral victories for me. What I lost, just a crippling rust. Climbing into dust, flaming in the rust, suffering. Twisting the knife. I know I'm bleeding out. Intuition is missing. No solution, execution of it. At the end of my road, empty platitudes of hope. I'm sick, I'm in it. Toxic and acidic. Me versus myself again.
Luke's really going in. Same with Brett. Holy shit.
Go and twist the knife. Me versus myself again. Me versus myself again. Losing again and again. I'm talking to myself, feeling like there's no
Are we gonna get a breakdown?
Yes, my fear. Toxic feelings, but my healing. Me in a trance. One more chance. Contradictions, depredations, my confessions never. Holding firm against a never. Staring, I'm falling, giving up again.
Holy shit! Oh man, I thought we were just gonna get dropped on our head. That's what it sounded like. All right, guys, that was track 3. That was Monolith. Well, I don't think they could have picked a more appropriate name for this track than Monolith, just because I think this is an absolute monolith of a track. This one feels very much the Brett and Luke show in regards to vocals. It is all screaming, which I think is really cool. I think oftentimes, I love hearing a track that's just all screaming, and I can almost imagine there's going to be another song with maybe all cleans on it. Who knows? Maybe I might be wrong. But I think for me, this just shows the brutality of what this band can still do. And not that I feel like it was lost on them by any means. But I did feel like, again, they were kind of more moving into that like metalcore territory with Succubus and Evening Ghost. But this one proves that they still got the heavy, So I'm sorry for saying that you guys were not as heavy as you used to be, because I feel like this song this song was easily one of the heaviest songs that I've heard that you guys have done in quite a bit. So that was really cool to hear that. I think it was also interesting to hear kind of the different vocal techniques that Luke was using in regards to his screaming. I like the more kind of yell, like raspy sort of thing going on in the chorus. I thought that was really sick. And then just going like absolute ham on the verses, having a lot of like those low screams, really kind of like almost guttural at some point, which I think is really neat. neat. And then counterbalance with Brett's scream, which is really like it cuts through the song super well, and it really has this sort of bite to it that you just love. So I think for me, they've always found that sort of niche as a band, where I think the screaming just has a unique way of cutting through the mix super well, but also at the same point really has a lot of resonance and is able to kind of carry the song in that way. So I got to give you guys a lot of kudos for that nonetheless. And if you were very much like me and you're like, oh man, are they going to release a heavy song? I think this is the one for you guys. So if you haven't listened to this one yet, please do, because I put my foot in my mouth, and obviously they can still release heavy songs. So glad that is not lost on them. And yep, this one was a really great one, really heavy. I was surprised. I thought for sure they were gonna hit me with like a slow like breakdown at the end. You know, I heard the bell and I thought, ooh, are they gonna hit us with like just an insane ending to this track? But nonetheless, I think it's still good, and super heavy. So if you are into the heavier stuff, then this might be right up your alley. So we are going to move it on to track 4, which is Dead Loss. So let's give this bad boy a listen. I haven't listened to this one either. This one is a new one, to my knowledge. This was not one of the singles. So let's go give it a spin.
I feel the reaper again.
Ooh. These riffs, like a god tier riff, Brett.
I've been taken by your grave. I watch the world burn from below. Down the rabbit hole, guess we'll never know. I'm tired for nothing. Give me a reason to not blame myself. If the answer no, who I must go, no answers given. I see through vacant eyes, I see through vacant eyes every day. It might be the first time. It might be the last time I see you. Forever can go by, and we will see it through. So tell me the story of how it all ended. These ideas and concepts are out of my head. This might be the first time that we will see this through. Always believed in me, now you don't believe what's so I see settled in my grave. I'm a stranger to myself, and couldn't get taste all life in the life I live. I've been bleeding for my soul. One foot in the hole. I know I'm not easy to be around. On the verge of another breakdown. Spellbound and hellbound. Yeah, I don't think they'll even know my name. Lost cause.
Oh yeah.
I shall be grateful for what I have. But I'm nothing irrational, it's laughable. Once I've had all the good things go bad. It might be the first time. It might be the last time I see you. Forever can go by, and we won't see it through. So tell me the story and how it all ends. These ideas and concepts are out of my head. This might be the first time that we will see this through. Again, let's take you all. Let them know I'm grasping at the straws. Looking at a life left with all its flaws. I couldn't nowhere to run. I spilled my blood for nothing. Help me save me, I'm better at it. Make play for my soul at 654. Him to bury me alone here. Make it obvious.
I love this electronic like beat. Sick.
Make it obvious. Baby, stays for deep.
Oh my god. That was wildly good. I think this one's my favorite. Unless Everlasting, unless Everlasting has a shot, I don't know. But guys, this was track 4. This was Dead Loss off of Virtual Veins' newest EP, Everlasting. You can check the links below. Please go support these guys. But oh man, this one was fantastic. I loved it. This was kind of that perfect sweet spot between like Monolith and I would say like Even Ghosts. I think it had that sort of staying power of the like aggressiveness that Monolith brought just literally a song ago, but also at the same point I think it brought a lot of really cool elements from Evening Ghost, where it was a little bit more melodic, a little bit more interesting in the chorus, and then that last breakdown, chef's kiss. Let's talk about this song a little bit more in detail. I think this one, again, meshes that sort of heaviness that I love about Virtual Veins with the sort of more like metalcore sort of characteristics that they bring to this. It was really heavy in the verses and then really kind of lightens up. It has more of a melodic turn in this track. I think the riffs on this song were so well put together. Got to give a big salute to Brett. I don't know how he comes up with some of these guitar parts, but man, he's a G. I'll tell you what. I love hearing his riffs, and inspires me to eventually pick my guitars up. They are currently collecting dust over there, but every once in a while, I always think, man, it would be really cool to write a heavy track again. But I really enjoyed this one a lot. I think Ron sounded really interesting. I like kind of the dichotomy of like almost like a borderline like rap scream sort of a thing that Luke does. I thought that was very interesting and just, again, a unique counterpoint to this song as well. The breakdown, super gnarly. Really love that too as well. And I think that if you were looking for a little bit of a heavier song that still kind of has some really cool sing-along parts in the chorus, then I think this is that happy medium that you're looking for. So really, really dug this one a lot. And I think this one is arguably, to me right now, the front runner of the EP. I just think it kind of meshes those two worlds together that I just so love about Virtual Veins. So definitely one to check out if you are a heavy stan, much like myself. So excited to delve into more of this album / EP. I don't know what it's called. I guess it would technically be considered an EP. But nonetheless, we are going to move it into track 5, which is Never Again. And this one features Quinn Harknett in it. So let's give it a listen.
Never again, I'd rather just pretend that I'm fine. Pay no mind when you let it go. Realize I'm very
Also, I like the transition between this song and Dead Loss.
Who are you to judge? If the sun says this, my heavy heart, my own time to go. I know I'm not in control. Place eyes on the stars, no relieving stress. How I my people love, no doubt it's a bad thing. Take me out of my personal hell. I'm in for the torture, up to my day's energy. To fully feed my insomnia. Never again. Why will it end? Is this what I become? No matter what they say, no matter how you pray, we're doing all we can. I hope you understand that some things just go this way. No matter what they say, no matter how it's said.
I like how much this opens up in the chorus. Super sick.
From here we'll do this my way.
Ooh, Quinn! What the fuck, man? Brutal.
Stuck with this entropy,
signature pop steez. I love it. Such an insane ending. Holy shit. All right, guys. That was Never Again featuring Quinn Harknett. Big salutes to Quinn. He sounded awesome in this track, and I don't know if he's in a band, but if he is, salutes to him. And definitely, Quinn, if you do watch this, comment down below if you are in a band, and I will pin that comment so people can go check your band out, because you're fucking nuts on the screams. So, love that. Quinn was a great addition to the track. He was in the second verse, I believe, and also possibly the ending of this track as well, too. So, really big ups to Quinn. He sounded great. I think he did a really great job of filling that sort of gap between, like, really just nasty, like, guttural screaming that, as I mentioned before, really enjoyed that. The verses were super aggressive. I love that. Very similarly, I would say, to Dead Loss as well. Again, having those more aggressive verses and then kind of mellowing it more so out in the choruses seems like something that is a tried and true method, and they got, obviously these guys capitalize on that as well too. But I think they do it in strides, certainly. And I also really like the end, where kind of like, again, Ron was doing more of like ad-libbing. I thought that was really interesting. And kind of gave me like almost like a pop sort of R&B sort of style vocals, which I think is really cool. And I hope that more bands kind of integrate that sort of stuff. And I hope that maybe Ron will do more of that stuff in the future, because I thought that was really interesting. And I think the electronic elements of that part of the song were really cool to kind of fit the mood of what Ron was trying to bring to the track, certainly. So really appreciate that. I will also say just like the electronic instrumentation throughout this entire EP has been really fantastic as well. I think it adds a lot of depth to the songs itself, but I also think it makes some of the drumming more interesting, maybe the guitar playing more interesting. It also naturally benefits the vocal lines as well too, because you can hear really cool melodies that maybe match up with the vocals or maybe not, or just kind of like, be able to help guide the song into the right places. So really enjoyed that as well too. I would say Never Again is probably a pretty close second in terms of my favorite. I still think Dead Loss is my top one right now, but either way, I think all of these songs have been very interesting, and I don't also feel like they've really lost their momentum in regards to having heavier songs. I think Never Again and Evening Ghosts and obviously Succubus, aka Sever, I think were very good songs to release, because I think it does give you a better idea, especially Evening Ghosts and Succubus. I think those give you probably the broader spectrum of what can be brought, and then I think people are going to be politely, I don't know what word I was trying to say there, pleasantly, that's the word, not politely, pleasantly surprised when they go into this album and listen to like Monolith and Dead Loss, which are a little bit, again, heavier songs. I think Never Again gives you more of that sort of frame of reference as well. But yeah, overall, been just a fun EP to just dive into a little bit more. And again, really brought the heaviness with this one, but also has very, very, very strong choruses too. So we are going to move into the final song, track 6. This one is called Everlasting, and it features Diamond Dance. I am going to preface this for those who are not, or who are unfamiliar with Virtual Veins. Diamond Dance is Ron's other project as well, with, I think, Brett, ironically enough, and they do more like post-hardcore sort of stuff. So I was joking with Ron beforehand and said, when people find out that Diamond Dance is also Virtual Veins somewhat, I just got a good chuckle out of that. It's like the Spider-Man meme where, you point the finger, we point the finger, whatever. I think it's hilarious and also extremely smart, because I think if people are unfamiliar with Diamond Dance and find out about this band and vice versa. So kudos to you. No offense, Ron. I hope you didn't have offense taken. I just thought it was very funny. So we are going to move it into the last track, Everlasting. So let's give it a listen. I like this. This is neat.
I found love and I lost it too. And we forgive you. You did what you had to do. And I know that saving face won't save my soul.
I like those vocal layers. Tight.
Over it, I'm so far gone. Tell me how you lost yourself, bleed, and fell into a hole at 6 feet. Don't pray for me, it's always everlasting. So leave me underneath the waves I'm sinking. I'm falling to a place I can't see. Don't pray for me, it's always everlasting. A machine that runs forever has to be recharged. You can only dream if you fall asleep, and lately sleep has been hard. A beating heart that runs forever has to tire out.
I like the ethereal element to this track. Really interesting. This chorus hits too. Switch up. Ooh, that double bass. Sick.
I'm falling to a place I can't see. Don't pray for me, it's always everlasting.
I'm not gonna lie, it kind of gives me a little bit of an invent anime feel. Oh, also want to say I called it. This was a song with all cleans on it. I called it. I don't expect to win a prize. I just thought that was what's going to happen. So, guys, that was the last song, the title song of the EP, Everlasting. You can check out all of the links in the description to go pick up or go support Virtual Veins. It's all down there. Please go show these guys some love. I've had them on for multiple iterations of their band, and it's been a pleasure listening through to this entire EP. This one I called, it was an all clean singing song. So, I think the counterbalance between this song and Monolith, I think is really cool. And think structurally, I think it's a really great way to end the song, and just with just a really strong track, but doesn't necessarily have to have screaming in it. There's a lot of bands that I feel like, that are in that scene where it's like, oh man, we have to have a song that just has a ton of screaming and have it be really anthemic, and I think that you can still certainly get that sort of anthemic feel. I can speak. It's a little late, but I can do it. I think you can still get that anthemic feel without having screams in it. I think this is a very good representation of that, certainly. As well as that, I think Ron's vocals, I think you're able to hear a little bit more tenderness in his vocals. I think there's an emotion behind it, and from what I've kind of seen about him posting about the virtual vein stuff, this has been more personal things to I would imagine every individual of virtual veins in that way. And so I think you can tell there's a lot more like emotion, there's a lot more heart, and I think in a song like this you can definitely hear that. And I think very similarly to Monolith with Luke and just having, and Brett as well, having more of that aggressive tone. So it's cool to see the juxtaposition of that, and think again it's very smart in the way that they put this EP together, where you do have those things that you can kind of like counterpose throughout the EP. I thought that was really interesting. Really like the kind of like ethereal overtones of this track. It very is reminiscent of bands to me like Invent Anime, which is a band I love. And I think that they're pulling a little bit of reference detail from them, which is very cool. I love to hear that. And was just really good. I think it was just a very solid song, and I think it was a great way to end this EP in just kind of, again, a more like anthemic sort of theming, and love the way it kind of all planned out towards the end of the album. Getting into some of my favorites off the EP, I'd still say Dead Loss is my favorite. I think it finds that perfect niche between heavy and as well as that very melodic as well. I'd say a very close second is Never Again, that features Quinn Harknett. He's sounding fantastic, as well as just the band itself. I think this one is definitely an aggressive track, but nonetheless very fun. And I would say probably the third one that I'm going to pick, since there's 6 songs and I feel like I would cut the album in half, I would say Evening Ghost is probably my third favorite off the album. It was just one of the ones that immediately, and when I clicked it on, I knew it was going to have staying power here and old noggin here. So love those 3. Not to discount the other 3, but I do think that they all had their own merit and their own style to it. But I think that personally, Dead Loss, Never Again, and Evening Ghost were the ones that kind of, again, stuck around in my brain and in the chest. I felt a lot of those songs, and they gave me that sort of well-roundedness that I think I love that Virtual Vein brings. I'm very curious to see what they have cooking up next, because this seems like just the appetizer for what is, I imagine, a larger thing that they are working on or constantly working on as a band. So if you want to keep up to date with Virtual Veins, check the links in the description. Go show them some love if you can. That'd be awesome. I imagine at some point they'll have some merch and all that other stuff, so you can go support them in that way. Ironically enough, no pun intended, I wear my Parallel shirt pretty frequently. So if you see me over in Pennsylvania and you see a Parallel shirt, come say what's up to me. It's most likely me. So unless someone else looks exactly like me and has the same shirt, which would be weird. Either way, very excited. I love these guys, and I felt like I have to do this video. Like it was a necessity in my mind and in my heart that I gotta show some love to these guys. So please go check out Virtual Veins. All the links will be below. Let me know your favorites are from Everlasting down in the comments section below. Again, want to give a huge shout outs to Ron, Brett, and Luke for allowing me to do this. Always much love to them. I know that they support my channel so much, so it's always cool to get the love in return. So please go show them some love if you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It helps me get out to more of you guys, so it'd be awesome if you could stick around and check out what I do. So thank you all for watching. I love all of you, and I'll catch you in the